Praised be you, O Lord, for butterflies, bees, and other winged things. This year, our community took part in the No Mow May initiative. This meant that we let our grass grow without cutting it for the month of May, and in fact, we let it grow right up to the month of September, in order to provide food and shelter for our local pollinators. This small, simple decision led to an abundance of butterflies, more than we'd seen in previous years, and even to finding 2 new bee species. In this presentation, we'd like to share with you our joy in the beauty of the creation surrounding us, and to give thanks to God. We hope you enjoy this presentation. Beautiful butterflies and magnificent moths. The small tortoise shell butterfly on the left and the peacock on the right both lay their eggs on nettle plants, where their caterpillars feed until forming chrysalis. These 2 native species both spend winter months as butterflies, often coming indoors into bedrooms or bathrooms to keep warm until the spring. The red admiral is a migrant butterfly from the continent, whose caterpillars also rely on nettles to survive. Meadow browns benefited greatly from the No Mow May. They lay their eggs on the grass, and the caterpillars don't form chrysalis until May and June of the following year, so not cutting the grass meant an explosion in the number of these butterflies. The females and males are easy to tell apart. The females on the right are larger, and the false eyes in their wings are larger as well. The speckled wood butterfly. Large and small cabbage white butterflies are difficult to distinguish. They are named because they lay their eggs on cabbage leaves. Small whites lay their eggs in the very center of the cabbage, so they're not found until the caterpillars have eaten their way out through the heart of the cabbage, whereas the large whites lay their eggs on the outer leaves. The green-veined white is a white butterfly who is named for the green veins on the underside of its lower wings. The orange tip is another butterfly which benefited greatly from letting the grass grow in May. It relies on the plant you can see in the center, known as cuckoo spit, cuckoo flower, or lady smock. These flowers bloom primarily in the month of May. A tiny egg is laid near a flower. It changes color as it gets older until it's orange, soon before it hatches. On the right, you can see a very magnified caterpillar. Male and female butterflies can be distinguished by their wings. The male has the distinctive orange tip, whereas the female's upper wings are white with some black markings. The silver fritillary butterfly. It's called a fritillary because it belongs to a family of butterflies which have lots of spots on their wings. The small copper is a small, fast butterfly who lays its eggs on sorrel and dock plants. This butterfly is probably either the common blue or the holly blue, but without a picture of the underside of its wings, it's difficult to tell. Each year, we find the caterpillars of the cinnabar moth feeding on marsh ragwort. Because of their diet, both moth and caterpillar are poisonous. This means that the moth can fly during the day quite slowly, because it is less to fear from predators. The silver Y moth is named for the Y-shaped markings on its wings. The white ermine moth gets its name from the color of its wings, which resemble the fur which used to be worn by royalty and by the nobility. It lays its eggs on dandelions and docks. The ruby tiger moth. The Blair's shoulder knot moth. The angle shades moth. The elephant hawk moth is a beautiful pink night-flying moth. The caterpillars feed at night on willow herb and bedstraws, but sometimes they can be seen sunbathing during the day. The caterpillars grow very large but are totally harmless. They protect themselves by frightening away predators, by retracting their heads so that the front of their body swells up as if they had an extra large head, hence their name. The buff tip is a moth with buff tips to its two wings. It lays its eggs together on the underside of the leaves of deciduous trees. As they grow older, the caterpillars become solitary. They eat most things. This caterpillar was found on the leaves of a French bean plant. I'm not sure, but I think this is the caterpillar of the grey dagger moth. It was found feeding on mountain ash. This long, speedy caterpillar may be a fox moth caterpillar. The next few slides are moths, butterflies and caterpillars which haven't been identified. The hungry young of the gooseberry sawfly devouring a gooseberry bush. In this next section, we'll be looking at bees. Here you can see some honeybees foraging. These next two slides are both two different species of solitary bee. Bumblebees. In identifying bumblebees, I used the resources available on the website pollinators.ie. To identify bumblebees, you need to look at their head, is it long or short, their thorax, that's the front segment of their body, their abdomen, the back section, and their tail. Please be aware, I'm only learning how to identify bumblebees now, so I wouldn't be surprised if there are some mistakes in the following slides. Bombus terrestris, the buff-tailed bumblebee. Bombus leucorum, the white-tailed bumblebee. Bombus ortorum, the garden bumblebee. Bombus pascorum, the common carder bee. Bombus lapidarius, the red-tailed bumblebee. Bombus pratorum, the early bumblebee. On the left, you can see two common wasps. On the right, in the top corner, you can see a wasp's nest in the making before the queen was evicted from the bedroom. In the bottom right corner, there's a sand digger wasp, so named because it buries a paralyzed caterpillar in a small tunnel in the ground, on which it lays an egg and then seals the tunnel while its young is growing. This year, we saw a number of flies disguised as bees or wasps or bumblebees in order to escape predators. This is just one species. Here are some 7-spot ladybirds, and in the bottom there's a picture of one of their larvae. Here are two different types of ladybird that were found this summer. They are both very small. This summer, we were delighted to see a number of dragonflies on patrol. A mayfly at rest. Gloria in excelsis et in terra Deo. Glory to God in the heavens and on earth. Thank you for joining us in this presentation. We hope you have enjoyed it. God bless.